Hello and welcome to the Lighthouse Buddies episode 6. My name is Tempe and I'm Tempe on Ravelry and Tempe D on Instagram.
And I'm Chrystal, Chrystal Mo on Ravelry and Chrystal Mo1 on Instagram.
Well, I keep getting confused every single time by the one on Instagram.
I know.
When you say it. Okay.
Believe it or not, Chrystal Mo was taken.
So is Tempe, but it was a city and I actually did sign on to Twitter at one point when it first started up, and you would not believe the number of businesses in Tempe, Arizona that friended me and, well, followed me. Getting Facebook and Ravelry confused with these other things, but I would have tow truck companies and landscaping companies, and I'm like, I'm really not in need of your services, thank you. Anywho, we have a wonderful Ravelry group, Lighthouse Buddies on Ravelry, and it would be fabulous if you would come and join us. And we currently have a knit along going on because we talked about making something together and we might as well share it with others. So we are working on the Honey Cow knit along by Antonia Shankland, and that ran from October 1st and it goes through November 30th, and there will be at least one prize depending on how many people finish.
And you've already cast yours on.
Yes, I have, because I am good.
And I'm a slacker.
Yes.
Do you have any finished objects?
We don't do that's bad. That's not kind and not appropriate for elementary school.
Oh.
I actually do have one finished object, which I have not blocked because I am a slacker, but I did finally finish the drop stitch scarf for my daughter. It is the perfect length for her, so I need to measure it because I have not blocked it and make sure that I do not make it too long afterwards. This is the drop stitch scarf by Christine Vogel. Very nice and easy. Perfect with this yarn. This is Malabrigo Ristata in the Zarzamoza colorway. I believe it's got beautiful greens and purples and the grays, and this is so, I mean, the drop stitch scarf is perfect for it because the colors are not jumbled together. You've got them showing up in the drop stitch sections, and then you can really, this is a soft single, you can really feel how soft it is.
It looks squishy.
It is, and I have to say, in my opinion, that this is perfect with the garter. It just adds depth to the color.
It's really pretty.
So my daughter picked it, and I think she picked the absolute perfect pattern to go with it. She's happy. I was trying to steer her towards a cowl, but I'll admit I was wrong. She will be thrilled. But that is my only faux, and it's not blocked. I'm all knitting done. It's done.
I have no FOs. None. 0.
You finished a huge sweater recently. It's okay.
My oak park is almost done. I'm going to whips. I have one more edge. So the long edge gets this dark blue border. I just need to do that on the other edge, and Oak Park will be completed. And I'm very, very happy with it. I love the colors. It was super fast. It was pretty much done in a week. But I had work and meetings and then Spinzilla. So basically this could have easily been done in a week. But I have one long edge of border to go and I'm done. And that is my...
How wide is it now? Can you hold it up so we can see the width right now?
Yeah.
I know you sent me a picture at one point and it seemed very narrow.
It is kind of narrow. It's right now.
Because I thought you said it's meant to be a wrap, and it really looks like a scarf width.
Scarf. It's 9, so I'm going to say 9.5. So I'm going to say 9.5 to 10 inches before it's blocked. But it's really, really long. So when the blocking queen blocks this,
Toss it in your suitcase.
I say we block for width.
Okay.
And because it's very, So I did when you weave in the ends, I think it was from the log cabin that I learned this, where when you weave in, when you start the new color, you wrap the previous color around the needle in the back and it kind of anchors it.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that every time I changed colors and I didn't pull it. So when I stretch it, it's a lot stretchier. But that just kind of has it pulled in from the wrapping the ends in. Because if I don't do that, when I have a lot of ends, I probably wouldn't weave them in.
Shocking.
I know you're shocked because
You're,
you know how good I am with my ends.
you're very good with your ends.
So this is not blocked and it's,
Is that doubled?
yeah. Yeah, it's huge. It's really huge. So
What's the
blocking it for
called
width.
for? What's the called for length on this?
Are we talking about possibly swatching? Let's
Would
see.
that have been helpful in this situation
To who?
to the person who has a 9 foot long scarf again?
Okay, so this says the scarf is 9 inches by 73 inches. So I'm pretty close.
No, 73 would be 6'1", and you appear to be a good 2.5 feet beyond that.
Well,
Now, if you're planning to just like wrap it around your lower face and over your upper face and then wrap it around this way and just have this big old puff ball of a head to keep you warm, you're
yes.
good to go.
And it's 50%, 45% cashmere, so it'll be squishy warm.
Okay.
Gauge, smage. That is my only whip. So 0 finished objects and 1 whip. And on to you.
Your contact Brenda Jones is available.
Okay. I am the whip queen, compared to you at least. So, and that's fine. We all have our times. I went ahead and cast on my honey cowl, and I was going gangbusters on it. You're supposed to knit until this is 11 inches across, and I've got, I think, 8 inches.
Oh, wow.
And I actually set it aside like 2 weeks ago just because I didn't want to finish it too quickly.
So how long is it?
It is supposed to be the 44-inch length.
So
The
I need to do twice?
It's supposed to be, yeah. These are on my 40-inch needle, cable needle. The first time I cast this on, I had it on a 32-inch, and it took me until I was past the beginning, the setup, and 3 repeats in until I realized that I twisted my cast on, which was not so much fun. It was over 300 stitches, and I did the knit on lace cast on, and it's a little sort of ripply there, you can see,
Mm-hmm.
but again, I'm going for the wonder of blocking, and after it's worn several times, it won't be an issue. I love the texture on this.
It's very pretty.
Mm-hmm. And it did,
What's the other side look like?
I'm sorry,
The other side.
wrong side.
That's pretty too. You can't call it wrong when it's still pretty.
No, it's very pebbly on the wrong side. And I had just ordered some new size 8 tips from Knit Picks, and I decided to try their new wood tone. And look at that. They're like the camouflage needles,
They
which was
coordinate.
coordinate, camouflage. They both start with C. So this one will be, it's such an easy pattern. It's a 4-row repeat, super easy. Don't need to keep track of it. It's very simple to look at what you're doing. And I will put this on the plane. and bring that with me. So side note, and we will be talking about this more after we finish going through all of my whips and the spinning. Chrystal and I are going to Rheinebeck this weekend. Today is Tuesday, October 14th, and we are going to be meeting in Hartford, is it?
Connecticut.
Hartford, Connecticut, Thursday
We're at
evening.
the airport.
At the airport, if nobody's flight is delayed, Chrystal will be there 50 minutes before me.
Bradley Airport.
Bradley Airport? Oh, Crystal's son is Bradley. So if an airport's named Bradley, she wants to fly to it.
And it's a direct flight for me.
Okay, so I set the honey cow aside because I felt like it was going too fast, which really, thinking about it and saying it out loud, I'll admit it doesn't make sense. What's wrong with my project moving along quickly? I don't actually know. I put it aside so that I don't finish it and the end doesn't come too quickly and I miss out on the joy, but I'm not knitting on it, so I'm missing out on the joy. I don't make sense. So last time I had the first one of the 3x1 Laura's Laces socks done. And I believe I said I have 3 grams of leeway from weighing it. And now I am on the gusset. So I will be able to start just flying through this one. I'm still in my gusset decreases. You can see.
Great progress.
Yeah, so this will also come on the trip with me because it is a basic 3x1 rib. So that will be a nice, easy knit to go. And this is the Laura's Laces Franklin's Panopticon. These will be for my brother who requested colorful socks for Christmas. I'm quite pleased with the colors. I think Franklin Habit is awesome, and I would totally fangirl over him if I saw him, which we did once, and I tried to carefully walk past. Thankfully, he was on the phone, so I did not embarrass myself. I was that nice. And then the other socks that I'm working on are my vanilla self-striping. I should have brought get the ends on this side of sock blocker, I'm sorry. This is the Lollipop Yarns Pillow Talk with the coordinating skein that I used up on the top on my heel flap, and I have this all the way ready to do my toe.
Excellent
And
job.
because I'm bad and lazy, I have not done my toe. I have set it aside into my nice sock size fat squirrel bag, and it's sitting here not getting the toe done.
That is a perfect bag.
It is a perfect bag, but this will also, because you cannot have too many knitting projects on a trip, this will also be going with me. So that is 3 projects going with me so far. Then I have a new one I'm sitting on. That was a bad choice. This I'm in love with. One of the ladies at our knit night made this a couple years ago. It was gorgeous. This is
not just one of our ladies, one of our favorite ladies.
Shirley, yes.
I love Shirley. Shirley, if you watch, I miss you.
Okay, so she made this a couple years ago in a burgundy, and I still remember it. And I was talking to a newer knit night lady about it, and I said, I want to make that at some point. She's like, what's stopping you? Okay, I've been talking about it for 4 years, so I found the exact, this is Taize, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Taize. It's by Susan Pandorf, Sunflower Designs. She also did Even Star, which was quite a popular pattern. She's done Lord of the Rings patterns, and I am a Lord of the Rings fanatic, so that is appealing to me, but this one has stuck with me. So the called for yarn is Fiber Company Canopy Fingering, which is an alpaca merino bamboo. And because I like to reduce, reuse, recycle, I found somebody with the 3 skeins called for on Ravelry, destashing it. Here, let me turn it the proper way. Ordered it, It came to my house at a very happy price. The colorway, according to the D-Stasher, is Quetzal, Quetzal. Love the pattern. It's not charted. I really like charts in my pattern. She has you cast on, you do a picot edge. I don't know if you can see that. Here's my picot edge row. And then when you're all done with the scarf, you sew the two ends down from the cast on edge. So I decided that I was going to get smart, and I ripped out what I had originally started when I realized I was supposed to sew it down later because I did not read the entire pattern through ahead of time. And I did a provisional cast on thinking that I would just knit those rows together. And that's what it will look like when it's all done. Me, being the genius I am, still did not read far enough ahead in the pattern. And it's a whole bunch of purl rows. And I could not figure out how to purl the two of them together. And maybe it's an obvious thing, but it wasn't working for me. I tried it with like one set of stitches, and then the yarn was just in the wrong place, and I couldn't really seem to get it around to the right place. So I have a provisional cast on. I will be sewing it down at the end. The pattern is not charted, as I said. I have not just written out charts for myself because the border shifts for how many starting stitches, and I just let it go. I absolutely love this texture.
It is beautiful.
It is to die for. This is not an easy memorizable pattern for me, at least. This is 4 repeats of 60. So this will be a long-term project. It's a little stiff. I probably could have done a gauge swatch, but it's a scarf, and my stuff tends to end up smaller. I would end up with a short scarf as opposed to 9 feet. So that I have not done. This I am loving. This will not come with me because it is not easy and mindless
See,
for
I'm glad you
tatting.
said that because I was thinking about bringing yarn and doing that, but if it's not easily memorizable, then that's not a good project for me.
No, it's gorgeous. The finished project will be amazing. I will love it, but
I don't want it for the plane.
it needs more attention. And then I have one last whip, which by rights I should be embarrassed about. Let me find the right side. Okay, Bridgewater. Bridgewater by Jared Flood. Let me get close. No, hush, hush. This is my whip. Got all the edgy knit, all the edgy knit, yes, all the edging is knit. The only thing left to do is to graft these two little sections of stitches together.
Okay, in my book, it's done.
No, there is still yarn manipulation required. I have not done this in over a week. This will require sitting down and paying attention, and in all honesty, it would take me half an hour. I have the beginning end. Do I even have the beginning end? I do not even have the beginning end. The only end I would have to run in is the end. And then I would block it. And this little half hour's worth of work has held me up. I will confess that I have not reblocked Sia so that I could sew that up and have a finished Rheinebeck sweater. I am an example of a bad lazy knitter because I have a lot of projects so close to the finish line that I set aside and walk away from. Anywho, eventually I'll finish it. It'll get done. It'll be done after Rheinebeck. It will be gorgeous. I will love it. This is Bridgewater by Jared Flood. This is alpaca with a twist pheno, 70% alpaca, 30% silk lace weight yarn, 2 skeins in champagne, and it's really only about 1.5. I haven't weighed it, but I'm going to call this half.
So beautiful.
I tend to be a tight knitter, so my stuff tends to end up a bit smaller than the called for measurements. I should probably go up a needle size, but it's a shawl, and it's not 9 feet long.
And see, since I'm fluffy, it's okay if it's 9 feet long or extra big.
If you were 7 feet tall, yes, but you're not. And those are all of my whips. And I understand that you have been doing some spinning, Miss Chrystal.
I have. I had Spinzilla, so I did a lot of spinning. I did the Nunico, which you've heard me talk about a lot lately. I absolutely love her stuff. This was the top in Antique Rose. It's a merino milk. It's a 2-ply. I got 554 yards. None of this has been washed because of Spinzilla. I was just trying to get it done. So I've got 554 yards there. This was from this Morgus birthday box, unbirthday, whatever. And I had 1-ply is Griffin and 1-ply is Dodo. And it is 190 yards.
I love those colors.
You can't really tell. It is super sparkly.
No, the sparkle is not showing up. That's
It is super
disappointing.
sparkly. It is
I believe you.
your magpie colors. So, and then one of them I had 24 yards left. I Navajo plied what was left on one of the bobbins. And then I had Louette pencil roving in the peacock feathers. And 2 plies are the Louette, and then 1-ply is a blue that I had.
Now, was that a blue fiber or just did you ply it with a yarn that you already had?
No, this is all fiber that was spun,
Okay.
but I think the white was CVM. The blue was just miscellaneous wool, and the brown was Bond.
Oh, that looks very nice.
And so my goal was to do all of it with the blue, and I ran out of blue because I have one of these from last year at Spinzilla. And I thought I had enough blue to do all of the rest of it, and so I would have 2 full skeins of the blue. I ran out of blue, so I grabbed white.
Well, that just completely changes the look.
Doesn't it? And then I ran out of the white. So then I grabbed the brown. And I wasn't sure that I'd like the brown. And I think out of all 3 of them, I actually like the brown the best because it's, I don't know, it just really makes me happy.
It makes the colors richer in the brown.
Maybe that's it.
The colors pop more against the brown.
So it's 263 yards total. Because I have 143 of the white, 65 of the brown, and 50 of the blue.
Now, do you know what you're going to do with that? Because incorporating all 3 together would make a very interesting color play project.
Originally, because I have 1 skein of the blue, it's like 300 and something yards from last year, I was going to do a little more, do more, and do a big hitchhiker. Well, now that I have this, I'm debating weaving with it. But I haven't quite figured out how to pull it all together. Because with the yardage, so I'm a beginner, very, very, very beginner weaver. So the weaving math is complicated to me still. So I have to figure out how many yards I have to figure out what my options are. Because I have a couple of different thoughts rolling around. I just don't know with the yardage what I can do. And so I'm thinking weaving, but I'm going to ask Miss Judy for help with, with the weaving math. And the last item is my pink. And this is merino bamboo silk, 526 yards of a 3-ply.
Now, that was Miss Babs, wasn't it?
This was Miss Babs. And this is to go with my watermelon veil. So my watermelon veil.
which you've mentioned several times, so now you get to explain it all.
I had this skein of Merino Bamboo Silk by Miss Babs in this watermelon colorway that I loved. I loved it. And it was a couple years ago, still learning how colors work, and I split it into 3 even weights, and I was going to do a traditional 3-ply. And the colors melded. This is what was left on the bobbin, and it is Navajo, or in-plied, or chain-plied. So you can see how pretty the colors are.
Mm-hmm.
When you 3-ply it, it breaks those colors up into pieces, and they all kind of blend together, and it looks like gray barf. Because the green and the pink and the beige, and when it's all plied together, you lose
The clarity of the colors.
So I was talking to Maggie Casey and about this, and I'm like, I was so depressed, and my good friend Tempe, tried to get another bat of this, and she didn't do it anymore. So I was talking to Maggie about how disappointed I was, and I ruined it, and she said if I spun a pink and put it with it, that it will bring out the pink and it won't look so muddy.
Bring it a little closer. See? And you can see that.
So I'm thinking of a pattern where it's like a 2-color stripe and then lace at the bottom.
Now, weren't we looking at the Dream Striped shawl pattern?
Maybe I'll take this. I don't know. So, and this is the last of my Spinzilla. So
You may work on that when you have completed Honey Cow, because I am mean and bossy.
Because I have not cast on Honey Cow yet.
Because you have not cast on Honey Cow, so you do not get to play with that yarn.
So for Spinzilla, my totals, and I'm a slacker, I should have had this written down. My totals, my goal was 1,000 yards, or was a mile. And I have 1,814 yards of yarn, plied yarn. But that's 6,010 yards of Spinzilla yards, because for a 3-ply, if it's 100 yards and you 3-ply it, you count 400 yards. So 100 for each ply plus 100 for plying it.
Oh.
So I have 6,010 yards for Spinzilla, but I have 1,814 yards of yarn. So I had over a mile of yarn.
Congratulations. That is so awesome.
I'm happy with that. And you spun?
I did spin because I have an 11-year-old daughter and 9-year-old twin boys, and I have been slowly introducing my boys to the wonderful world of Tolkien. So we watched the Two Towers Extended Edition, because that is the way that you watch the movie. And I went and got
What was that?
Extended Edition. It's like 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours of wonderful, family quality, cutting heads off of orcs time. And surprisingly, my boys were fine with it. These are the boys that won't watch Finding Nemo anymore because it made them sad, and they cried that, Nemo was trying to find his dad and his dad was trying to find him. Yeah, it's a no-go. But I had finished the first of my Spotted Circus House Targaryen Corridell Gradient last time, and now I have, I'll be nice, ta-da, same height. I have done the second, and we'll see how much I have left over and how even they turn out to be. So now what is left is for me to chain ply them, and that is something that will be happening after Rheinebeck.
Do you have a project in mind?
I will be making fingerless mitts with these. I have not fully decided on the pattern. I was thinking of the Match Girl pattern, but either way, I do know that the red is going to go here up to the black. Because
Nice.
I did think, put the black down first because then dirt and all that you get with your hands on it, that's no good because you're going to wear them in winter and the red's going to be hidden under the sleeves. The red needs to be down here for the pop of color that you need when winter comes. And that's all I have to say about that.
Perfect.
And I am starting one more project for upcoming knitting, plane knitting. I am starting a project for the plane trip out to Rhinebeck and the plane trip back. And it will be the Frabjous pattern by Brenda Patipa with my Stitches Midwest, Lisa Souza Baby Alpaca Silk, which, hey, watch this parlor trick, is a beautiful shade of gray. This is the Baby Alpaca Silk. I showed it in the first episode, still in the skein. It is DK weight per Ravelry. It is 750 yards of alpaca silk. In the violet colorway, it's showing up bluer on my monitor, and clearly I can't just move it forward and hope it'll correct. It is so soft. I love alpaca. I love alpaca silk. This is going to be amazing.
I
So
think
I'm
I'm gonna
looking
have to
forward.
get a skin at Rheinebeck.
She will be at Rhinebeck. People, you can order from her website. Great pricing. 750 yards of alpaca silk. This was $49.
I think I need a shawl with that.
I think you do.
I think
But
I do.
I bet you she will have her Fragile samples in the stall, which is what got me. I tried the Fragile sample on. It was perfect. It came, the doubled up scarf, it came all the way up. My neck was surrounded with cushy softness that was warm and luscious, and I was a goner. Those are my plans. So, Chrystal and I will be going to Rhinebeck. We had plans. I was bad. There's a Culinary Institute of America restaurant up there. I tried to make reservations back in June. It was too far out to make them online. I tried calling them, and they were shut down for like some 2-3 week period that they have in summer. And I didn't get back on working on that until tonight, and they have no reservations open until October 29th. So we will not be eating there. I had planned some sightseeing for us to do on Friday because Rhinebeck does not open until Saturday morning. And that may not be happening either. I'm hopeful you can tour through the National Park Service. You can tour the home of Roosevelt. And I can't tell you which Roosevelt because there are 2 Roosevelt homes up there in the Hyde Park area of New York. Both Roosevelts, Franklin and Theodore. One of them is not closed for construction, not exactly rehab. They're working on it. I can't recall the proper term, but they're working on it. So one of them you can see, one of them you can't see. And I went to the website to look up the address, and it's got a notice they are experiencing a very high volume of visitors right now. So that would be everyone going to check out the fall foliage, stopping to see the Roosevelt's home. And I had actually hoped that it was the sort of thing that most people weren't going to go to, so we could happily go without crowds. Apparently, there will be a very long wait for us to get a tour. So hopefully we can do that because I like the old stuff and I think that would be pretty neat. The other thing we were going to see also through the National Park Service. See, I'm boring Chrystal already just talking about it. She loves museums. There's another Vanderbilt home that you can tour. In addition to Biltmore in Asheville, North Carolina, they have a home, and I'm not clear on the name because they're calling it the Vanderbilt House on the National Park website. That is also getting a very high volume of visitors right now. Either way, we will find a restaurant, which is great. We will eat something, hopefully not roadkill. I can't imagine that that will be a problem. We will see beautiful fall foliage. Hopefully we get to tour old homes.
And we're
Because
flying into what airport?
Bradley Airport. Bradley Airport in Connecticut.
Hartford, Connecticut.
Hartford, Connecticut. Wonderful.
So it's a
And
direct flight from Denver. Sorry,
not
it's
for me.
not from St. Louis.
That's okay. That's okay. I get to check out a couple other airports because I'm special that way and I like to tour things. But the next time we come and record and share with you, we will have hopefully fun acquisitions. I want to get loop bats now. I would like to get Jenny the Potter, but I'm hearing that she is very popular. And I don't know that running and shoving is worth it to me to stand in line for an hour. So I'm willing to let that go. I've also heard that Miss Babs is incredibly popular, and I was able to get to Miss Babs at Stitches Midwest without a line. So I'm okay without that.
And you mentioned the Hanson.
I do want to check out an e-spinner. I want to look at Into the World. I am just looking forward to mostly, I'm actually worried that we won't be able to walk through all the vendor halls, which is absolutely ridiculous because if I don't know what's there, I'm not going to know what I'm missing, but I still feel like I need to see it.
And I'm looking forward to see all the wonderful people that I haven't seen in ages.
People, yes, fun people.
Lots and lots of awesome people. See you soon.
Happy Knitters Unite. Bye.
Bye.